Madison had always been drawn to the magic of baking. As a child, he would spend hours in the kitchen with his grandmother, watching in awe as she transformed simple ingredients into golden loaves of bread, flaky pastries, and decadent cakes. The smell of freshly baked goods filled the house, creating a sense of warmth and comfort that stayed with Madison long after the treats were gone. It was during those moments that he first dreamed of becoming a baker. But life had other plans. Growing up in a small town, Madison was constantly told that baking was a hobby, not a career. "You need a real job," his father would say. "Something stable, with benefits." So, Madison pushed his passion aside and pursued a degree in business administration. After graduation, he landed a corporate job in the city, working long hours in a cubicle under fluorescent lights. It paid the bills, but it left him feeling empty. Every evening, Madison would return to his tiny apartment and bake. It was his escape, his way of reconnecting with the joy he had felt as a child. He experimented with recipes, perfected his techniques, and shared his creations with friends and coworkers. The compliments were endless. "You should open your own bakery," they would say. Madison laughed it off, but deep down, the dream never faded. The turning point. One day, after a particularly grueling week at work, Madison received a call from his grandmother. She had fallen ill and was no longer able to manage her beloved bakery, a small but cherished establishment in their hometown. "I want you to have it," she said. Her words struck a chord in Madison's heart. He knew this was his chance to pursue his passion, but he also knew it wouldn't be easy. Quitting his stable job to take over a struggling bakery was a risk, but Madison was determined. He spent weeks researching, creating a business plan, and crunching numbers. He knew that turning his dream into reality would require more than just passion. It would take discipline, hard work, and financial savvy. The first challenge: financial discipline. Madison's first step was to assess the bakery's finances. The business was barely breaking even, and the equipment was outdated. He realized that if he wanted to succeed, he would need to make some tough decisions. Madison sold his car, downsized his apartment, and cut back on all non-essential expenses. He poured every penny into the bakery, investing in new equipment and high-quality ingredients. Mia, his former college roommate and a financial advisor, offered to help him create a budget. "You need to treat this like a business, not just a passion project," she advised. Together, they mapped out a plan to reduce costs, increase revenue, and build a financial cushion. Madison learned to track every dollar, from the cost of flour to the price of a single cupcake. It was tedious, but he knew it was essential. The second challenge, building a brand. With the finances under control, Madison turned his attention to branding. He wanted the bakery to stand out in a crowded market. Drawing on his business background, he developed a unique brand identity that reflected his values: quality, authenticity, and community. He redesigned the logo, updated the packaging, and created a social media presence that showcased his creations. Madison also focused on customer experience. He trained his staff to provide exceptional service and created a cozy, inviting atmosphere in the bakery. He introduced loyalty programs and hosted events like baking classes and tasting nights. Slowly but surely, word began to spread. Customers loved not just the baked goods, but the story behind them. The third challenge, scaling the business. As demand grew, Madison faced a new set of challenges. The bakery's small kitchen could no longer keep up with orders, and Madison was working 18-hour days to meet the demand. He knew he needed to expand, but he also knew that scaling too quickly could be disastrous. Mia helped him secure a small business loan, but she also cautioned him to proceed carefully. "Growth is good, but it has to be sustainable," she said. Madison took her advice to heart. He hired additional staff, invested in larger equipment, and opened a second location in a nearby town. Each decision was carefully calculated, with a focus on maintaining quality and financial stability. The fourth challenge, staying true to his vision. As the bakery grew, Madison faced pressure to cut corners and maximize profits. Suppliers offered cheaper ingredients, and investors suggested automating parts of the process. But Madison refused to compromise on his values. "This bakery is my dream," he told them. "And I won't sacrifice quality for the sake of profit." Instead, Madison found creative ways to increase efficiency without cutting corners. He negotiated better deals with suppliers, streamlined operations, and introduced new products that appealed to a wider audience. He also stayed connected to his customers, often working the counter himself and listening to their feedback. This commitment to quality and authenticity set his bakery apart from the competition. The fifth challenge, overcoming setbacks. Despite his best efforts, Madison faced setbacks along the way. A fire in the kitchen forced him to close the original location for weeks, resulting in significant financial losses. A failed product launch led to wasted ingredients and disappointed customers. And the stress of running a business began to take a toll on his health and relationships. But Madison refused to give up. He remembered his grandmother's words, "Baking is about patience and perseverance." You have to keep going, even when things don't turn out the way you planned. With the support of his team and the lessons he had learned, Madison navigated each challenge with resilience and determination. The sweet taste of success. Years later, Madison stood in the flagship location of his bakery empire, now a thriving chain with multiple locations across the state. The smell of freshly baked bread filled the air, just as it had in his grandmother's kitchen all those years ago. Customers lined up out the door, eager to taste his creations. Madison's journey had been anything but easy. It had required discipline, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to his dream. But as he looked around at the bustling bakery, he knew it had all been worth it. He had turned his passion into a profession, creating not just a successful business, but a legacy. Paying it forward. Madison never forgot the people who had helped him along the way, especially Mia. He made it a point to mentor young entrepreneurs, sharing the lessons he had learned and encouraging them to pursue their dreams with discipline and determination. He also gave back to the community, donating baked goods to local shelters and sponsoring scholarships for aspiring bakers. One day, a young woman named Emma approached him after a baking class. "You've inspired me to follow my dream," she said. "I want to open my own bakery someday." Madison smiled, remembering the young man he had once been, standing in his grandmother's kitchen, dreaming of a life filled with flour, sugar, and endless possibilities. A life of purpose. As Madison closed the bakery for the night, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had built more than just a business. He had created a life of purpose and fulfillment. His journey was a testament to the power of discipline, hard work, and staying true to one's vision. And as he locked the door and walked away, the smell of freshly baked bread lingered in the air, a reminder that dreams, like dough, rise with patience, care, and a little bit of magic.